Hi, I'm David McQuillan, Senior Specialist on ATG's Reality Capture team. Take a look at our footage from a recent Reality Capture demo day where I take us through how to collect data with the BLK360 laser scanner.
So we can see the first scan there, that test 2-1, and then we got processing on the next one. So this is where it's going to allow us to do that field registration, right?
Right.
But if we wanted to, while that's going, we could just actually just go and move this to another position, say in the doorway here, and just go ahead and kick off another scan while it's going. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll just go ahead and hit new scan. Even though you can see it's processing the previous scan there, we haven't even registered to the first scan yet. Just to keep, things going. Anytime that light's green, that scanner should be going. Right. So now if we kind of zoom in here, we can see that it's registering now. So this is where it's going to be taking that second scan and comparing it to the first scan. So what it's showing us now, go ahead, David.
Sure. So first of all, we could, accept the automatic registration, and the way we could evaluate that is with the statistics up top, so the amount of overlap, balance, how many points returned, as lasers do. They hit something and then they come back and return back to the emitter. So basically we have good stats, we could visually compare it here and say, okay, everything lines up. You can kind of see there's blue and there's orange, one being the first scan, one being the second scan, and say, okay, we're happy with that first scan. But what I'm going to show you here is manually register. Now, what I'm looking for here is planes, right? And then I'm going to use the same features in both sets of photos to basically give my selection some accuracy. And it doesn't need to be dead on, just close. And so that's why I use something like the corner of this TV, right? So we see them in both. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to select a point here. So I'm going to go green, green. Now I'm going to try to choose, maybe a different plane or an opposing plane. So let's go ahead and flip this guy around.
So this is why, for recap, this is why the photo quality is so important. So you can see this is the manual registration process. It's using the photos. David doesn't have 2 point clouds pulled up that it wants to compare to. It's using those spherical photos from each scan location.
Exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and click my next position. I'm going to just choose up there. I know that's the same one up there. And then use a different plane. Maybe use the edge of this whiteboard. Point. And then there we go. So I don't recall if those are exactly the same statistics as we saw before. But you might get something a little bit better, or they might be exactly the same. We're going to go ahead and click merge. And now we've seen that the next scan is finished scanning, and now it's transferring to the iPad. So if we wanted to, we could go ahead and move that to the next scan location. But since we're so close here, maybe we'll just...
yeah, we'll go ahead and do this third one here and let this one register automatically, hopefully.
Right.
So if I don't use the, the iPad with recap on it, pretty much method-wise, one of the things, I really need to know is just how to properly scan a space.
Right.
The iPad's going to give you the preview of the data as you go. So you're going to know if you're missing pieces.
Right.
So even though you can operate it without the iPad, without recap, you just press the button. You really need to understand the spaces you're scanning, kind of understand some scanning methodologies there, because you're just pressing a button, collecting the data, and moving on to what you think is the next best spot.
Right.
So, like I said, the iPad really gives you some good information there as far as how things are coming together, and I don't have to do it later. So, yeah, we take a look at it there, 44% overlap, that's good. So we're going to go ahead and just do the merge scan this time. And then if we bring up now, if we just bring up scan 3, what it's going to show is, one, there's just our photosphere of the one location. But if we go to the map view down below, the display view, now we can see there's all three scans hooked together. We can see all three of the scan locations that are noted there as well.